Thought Dragon Dance Pupitar was cool? Just you wait. GSCNU has Ancient Power Pupitar. What a tear. Pupitar is certainly one of the coolest and most underrated Pokemon in GSCNU. It is a surprisingly dangerous offensive threat that is able to check some of the most dangerous Pokemon in the metagame. While its stats aren't spectacular and its move pool is rather shallow, it has some real useful traits and advantages over other rock and ground types. Rock and ground is an incredible stab combination, and it allows Pupitar to hit many common Pokemon for super effective damage. Flying and bug types, like Xatu, Fearow and Pineco are hit by Rock Slide or Ancient Power, while Earthquake hits Poison, Fire and Electric types, like Weezing, Magmar, Ninetales, Chinchou and Magnemite. No Pokemon in GSCNU resists the ground rock stab combination. Pupitar's attack stat is also solid by GSCNU standards, and it earns high base power moves, such as Earthquake and Rock Slide. Pupitar's primary advantage over Graveler and Sudowoodo from an offensive perspective is its ability to threaten Octillery without having to explode on it. It outspeeds and has high odds to 3 KO Octillery with Earthquake after Spike's damage. It becomes even easier to break it when you take Screech into account. A -2 defense Octillery takes over 70% from a boosted Earthquake, so it needs to be very healthy to take Octillery on in this state. Screech is a crucial move on Pupitar because it allows it to win against Mono Curse normal types like Wigglytuff, Porygon and Noctowl. Screech lowers the defense of the opponent by 2, which is more than Curse's +1 boost, so Pupitar can spam Screech to lower these normal types' defenses and eventually break through them. Screech Pupitar can snowball very hard with spikes up, due to the amount of Pokemon it immediately threatens out on most teams. It is very similar to UU's Screech Gligar in this regard. Add the Earthquake and Screech. Pupitar uses 2 rock moves, Rock Slide and Ancient Power. Rock Slide is your basic stab move, one that can flinch the opposing Pokemon with some good luck. Rock Slide is stronger and has more PP than Ancient Power, so why use Ancient Power at all? Simple, it has a 10% chance to give Pupitar a boost in every single stat, which can get out of hand very quickly. If Pupitar gets that Omni boost, you better hope your Octillery or something is healthy, or you might just lose the whole game. Pupitar has a number of opportunities to fish for an Ancient Power boost against foes like Wigglytuff and Xatu. It can also fish for a boost when finishing an opposing Pokemon off. Pupitar's move pool is so shallow that you might as well try Ancient Power anyway. What else are you gonna run? Pupitar also provides excellent and rare defensive utility. Pupitar's resistance to normal is very handy in a tier full of normal types, like Wigglytuff and Fearow. It also means Pupitar doesn't instantly die to explosion from Pineco, Weezing and Sudowoodo. Pupitar is one of the very few Pokemon who can counter Fearow, one of the most common and dangerous offensive threats around. As mentioned earlier, Pupitar checks Mono Curse normal types, like Wigglytuff, Noctowl and Porygon, thanks to its normal resistance and access to Screech. Pupitar is also the best check to Magnemite in the entire metagame. It is completely immune to Thunder, not threatened too badly by Hidden Power Ice, and able to outspeed and OHKO Magnemite with Earthquake. Magnemite is one of the most dangerous Pokemon in the metagame, so this is a seriously valuable niche. Pupitar also checks most fire types, as well as Fire Blast and Haze variants of Weezing. Pupitar is a very nice fit on offensive teams as a result. It checks problematic Pokemon, and is offensively dangerous. Pupitar fills a unique and valuable niche in GSCNU, and I think people should use it more. Pupitar was one of those Pokemon who never shined at all until the modern metagame. When I was looking through the old GSCNU threads, I did not find a single mention of Pupitar until the Raichu/Poliwrath metagame, where it proudly sat at the bottom of D tier. Pupitar was just completely overlooked in the Mr. Mime and Raichu metagames. The Mr. Mime metagame would probably look completely different if it was explored more, and the Raichu metagames are dominated by water types who owned Pupitar. It took until the modern metagame for Pupitar to actually get noticed. Before August of 2020, it still sat in D tier. That August though, there was one player who started using, or should I say, started spamming the hell out of Pupitar. If you are watching the replays on screen, you probably know who it is. Freezing Pop started spamming Pupitar on like every team for some reason, and people started to realise, Oh shit, this tank has Magnemite and Zartu, and oh shit, you got the ancient power boost, and now I lose. I remember many games around this time where Pupitar would just gain the ancient power boost late game and instantly win, because nobody knew what was good back then, haha. Pupitar had a few months of frame in late 2020 after people realised it was decent, but it hasn't seen much action since then. Freezing stopped playing at the start of 2021, so Pupitar lost its biggest fan. I think people just forget about Pupitar really. It's just such a random Pokemon. Pupitar also has a few issues of its own. It is weak to common attacking types, like ground, fighting, and especially grass and water. A lot of Pokemon use Hidden Power Grass as coverage in this tier, so Pupitar isn't a fan of that at all. Pupitar's stats, particularly its bulk and speed, hold it back from consistently switching in and causing havoc. Since Pupitar doesn't use rest, it is also vulnerable to getting worn down over time, and it hates status, although it is immune to Thunder Wave at the very least. Unlike Sudowoodo and Graveler, Pupitar doesn't use Explosion, so it faces competition from them as offensive threats. Regardless though, Pupitar deserves more use. I would certainly use this thing before using stuff like Dunsparce and Mantine.